It was supposed to be one of the fanciest weddings I'd ever been to. Beautiful outdoor venue, string lights everywhere, live band playing soft music, people walking around holding tiny drinks like they were in a movie. And somehow, I accidentally turned the entire reception into absolute chaos. So here's what happened. I was there as my cousin's +1, which meant I barely knew anybody. I spent most of the night awkwardly smiling at strangers and pretending I understood conversations about wine and mortgages. Everything was going perfectly fine until dinner started. Now, the wedding had one of those buffet setups where everybody had to carry their own food back to the table. And for some reason, I decided I could carry 2 overloaded plates at once. Huge mistake. I had pasta, mashed potatoes, breadsticks, meatballs, cake. Basically an entire restaurant balanced in my hands. I'm walking carefully through the reception, trying not to embarrass myself, when suddenly my shoe slips on the dance floor and time slowed down. One plate tilted forward, and a single meatball launched into the air like it had its own mission in life. I swear the entire room watched it happen. That meatball flew across the dance floor, past 2 tables, and smacked a guy in a white tuxedo directly in the forehead. Perfect hit. Sauce exploded everywhere. The entire wedding went silent. Even the band stopped playing. I froze in place, holding half a plate of spaghetti, while the guy slowly wiped marinara sauce off his face. Then he looked directly at me, and I thought, yep, I'm getting kicked out. But before I could even apologize, someone from another table suddenly yelled, "Oh, it's like that," and launched a bread roll straight at me. It hit me right in the shoulder. Everybody gasped. At that point, the situation still could have been saved, but then another person threw mashed potatoes, then somebody launched a cupcake, and suddenly the entire wedding turned into a battlefield. Breadsticks were flying through the air, cake was exploding on tables, kids were screaming and laughing like this was the greatest moment of their lives. And somehow, the older people were the most dangerous. One grandma threw a shrimp cocktail with terrifying accuracy. An old man, Frisbee, threw a dinner roll across the room like he trained for this his whole life. The DJ stopped the music and screamed into the microphone, "What is happening right now?" Meanwhile, I'm crouched behind a table using a garlic knot for emotional support. Then things somehow got even crazier. The groom grabbed the microphone, and instead of stopping the chaos, he yelled, "Last table standing gets free drinks all night." The room lost its mind. At that point, it wasn't a food fight anymore. It was war. People started building barricades out of chairs. One guy used a serving tray as a shield. A bridesmaid nailed me in the chest with a breadstick from across the room. Honestly, one of the greatest throws I've ever seen, and right in the middle of all this chaos, the bride started laughing, like uncontrollably laughing. She was literally crying. Then eventually everybody else started laughing too, even the guy I hit with the meatball. Turns out he wasn't even mad. Apparently he had already spilled red wine on himself earlier that night, so he said the meatball just completed the outfit. Eventually the staff cleaned everything up. The music started again. People went back to dancing like nothing happened, but to this day, my family still introduces me as the guy who accidentally started the great wedding food fight.